Hello, my name is Jos Voskuil, and today I'm speaking with Jessica Cohen from Flying Whales. Flying Whales is an interesting company. They were just nominated for the prestigious La French Tech 120 program. So let's listen to Jessica and what the company does and what the activities are there. Welcome, Jessica. Please introduce yourself and the company.
Thanks for having me. As you said, we were just named to the prestigious French Tech 120, which is a huge recognition for the company, and it's really increased our visibility and a real sign of our support from the government, which is extremely important for us. And Flying Whales were developing the LCA-60T, which is a rigid airship for cargo transport. So point-to-point transport, meaning no infrastructure on the ground, which is a really groundbreaking concept and could really revolutionize cargo transport in the world. And what's even more ambitious is that we're also developing an operations company to operate the LCA-60Ts all around the globe, on all the continents, hopefully, and managing that fleet, which we aim to be about 150 airships long term.
Okay, so it's an interesting model, transport as a service, and as I understand, also at the places where you have to land, you don't need airfields, etc.
Exactly. Our target is to reach zones that are currently inaccessible or difficult to access. So this has a lot of applications in humanitarian aid, or what we see in the world now is that if you don't have access to goods, you're kind of isolated from the global economy.
Right. And your role in the company and your background, how did you get into the Flying Whales?
So I started my career at Boeing in Everett, Washington, working on the 777X program as a design engineer, so focusing on composite structure. And in that experience, I got to learn what it's like to work in an aerospace company and the certification process, design principles for aerospace structure. And I also started working with CATIA V5 in the composite grid workbench. And so when I left Boeing to come to France and work for Flying Whales, I was able to apply everything that I'd learned to this brand new company and help them build the processes and the product at the same time using my design background.
Right, and that must be a big challenge, knowing aircraft companies like Boeing, quite regulated, all structured, all full of procedures, and then getting into a startup mode, a company that wants to deliver a product and probably struggling to get the procedures also organized. How do you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, in a big company, I think all of these things are already there for you. I remember when I was at Boeing, I didn't even really think about certification so much because it wasn't in my scope and everything was already defined. I could really focus on the design and manufacturing. And so when I got to Flying Whales, I realized that all of these things needed to be built as well and were just as important, if not more important. Because even for certification, it's a requirement. We can't just do things our way. And even if we made the most high-performing, perfect airship, if we don't certify it, it's not going to fly.
Right. Yeah.
And in the same way, I think that what I've learned too is that these certification requirements and these processes we have to write, it's not just to bother us. It's so that we have a level of quality that ensures the safety of what we're building and protects people on the ground and people who are flying on board. And it also kind of gives us a framework to define these processes to be more efficient in the design process and have a higher quality product, not just because for safety, but also for performance and so we can sell it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the good part, and the safety part, of course, is for very crucial. I understood you are currently implementing the PLM environment on the 3D Experience platform and on the cloud. Can you tell us something about what you're doing there and what are your experiences with the cloud?
So Flying Whales, we decided to use a 3D Experience platform from a pretty early stage because it's adapted to our way of working and that it's scalable and that we don't have to manage the server infrastructure. So the cloud environment allows us to keep that agility that we need. And so my main focus today and the phase that we're in today is defining this framework for our teams to collaborate and to manage the product definition in a collaborative and multidisciplinary way, but in a way that also respects the certification requirements down the line. Finding that balance between applying the certification requirements and having a really strict and rigorous processes today with keeping that agility. So really focusing on a sort of incremental approach so that we get to where we need to be when we need to be there.
Okay. And did COVID influence your ways of working the last year?
I mean, of course, I think everyone has been impacted in some way in their industries, but for us, I think we really reacted quite well, and we've kept a sort of agile approach to COVID, where we react to the different restrictions put in place at different times. But definitely the most clear impact has been that we've been working from home much more than before. But that also pushes, I think, our use of the cloud and our embracing of that way of working, and the fact that we don't need to be in the same place to collaborate.
Right. I understood that now currently you are well structured inside the company with your design and your manufacturing preparation processes. What are your plans for the next steps with the PLM environment?
So as you said, our first goal was to structure the environment internally and have our whole team working on it and collaborating and filling it with data and managing that data. And then the next step is to include our ecosystem of partners, suppliers, and external collaborators, and integrate them and collaborate with them as one entity to create a true collaborative project.
Okay, so that's going to be an interesting challenge, and I look forward to see it all happen in real life. And thank you for giving us the insight in this exciting company. And thank you very much, and success with your journey.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.